You have questions? America's #1 business coach has answers. It's your Broda from Minnesota. Here's another edition of Ask Clay Anything on the Thrive Time Business Coach Radio Show.
Oh, yeah. Yes, 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 and yes, Thrive Nation. Today's show is a very special occasion because it's going to be short and quippy. And because it's from our mouth, it'll be lippy.
Wow.
Well, now, Dr. Zellner, today's show, we're calling today's show, Ask Us Anything.
Oh, no, don't do that.
Righteous anger.
Oh, no.
If you haven't been livid, you haven't lived as an entrepreneur.
Wow.
Now,
we're going there.
Well, what happens is we live in a society where, and Z, you studied math in college. What was your degree in math? What was the math degree?
Bachelor's of Science in Mathematics.
Mathematics, okay. So this is something I've run into recently, is I've been doing a lot of math. And there's 327 million Americans in our great country.
Plus or minus.
And you have 16 million of which have active LLCs. Now, there's studies that show there's 27 million LLCs. But, where someone forms an LLC but isn't doing something with it is different than an active. So
correct.
You got 16 million. So think about this, 16 million businesses that are active, which let's say the math was even 20 million. That means there's far less than 10% of our population is self-employed, okay?
Okay.
Because we have, 327 million Americans. So then you say, Inc. says that 96%, and Andrew, put it on the show notes, but 96% of businesses, 96% of entrepreneurs don't make it 10 years. They fail.
It's sad. And we're going to change that. That's what we're going to change.
So what that means is, by default, 0.00193% of entrepreneurs, or of Americans, make it as a successful entrepreneur for a decade. 0.0019.
For a decade, right? Because there's a lot of guys that are 7 years into it, going, "Hey, look at me! I'm still rocking and rolling and rocking."
What you have to do is you have to learn a certain characteristic to be successful. One of the things you taught me that was just powerful is you told me that a business exists to serve the owner.
Oh no, that's controversial.
So now
you had to bring that right off the bat.
You told me that.
I did.
Okay, so let's start with that.
Well, it's on one of my it's on one of my principles. It's one of my principles the book that I'm writing. By the way, your agent said she was going to do my book for me.
EFOT?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Shunda. That's the move.
I gave her the short story of it. She loved it. It's called Business. It's the working title's Business Pig, but in it the chapters are all based upon pigs. I don't know why pigs. They just seem to kind of work out. And one of my chapters is Big Pig Eats at the Trough First. In other words, when the farmer gets out there and feeds the pigs, the biggest one says, "This is the spot I want." Right. And all the others pick the other spots. That's the way it is. That's the way nature is. That's the way it is on the farmyard, and that's what it should be in your business too. The business should be there. You should think of yourself as the big pig at that trough. And you may say to yourself, that's weird. I don't get that. I want to make the world a better place. I want to make an app that helps humanity. I want to, we want to build something green. We want to, I'm here for my customers. My patients are more important. My employees are I put them above me. I'm the lowest of the low of the low. And that's not the right mindset you need to have. And that may be why so many of them fail. Is that crazy?
I'm going to wage war for a second on the vast majority of psychologists. I have heard this so much. It's the new thing. See, we're labeling anybody who's successful. It's the new thing. Not we, but most. Because again, by default, most people are not successful. I mean, Gallup shows that 70% of people hate their jobs.
Right.
Inc. shows 85% of people lie on their resumes.
75% are stealing from their jobs.
96% of people are failing in their business. So you think about this, the stats, the average person is not super successful. So, Josh, have you ever discovered that when a lot of people aren't the Yankees, they don't like the Yankees? Or a lot of people aren't the Patriots, they don't like the Patriots? Or whoever's winning, you're either winning or you're whining about the winner. Have you noticed that phenomenon?
Tremendous level of envy in our society. Tremendous level.
So there's a term that I've heard a lot in the last probably 5 months. It seems like once you hear an idea, you start to hear it over and over and over again. And I keep hearing this phrase, NPD. It's probably because I'm around
NPD.
It's probably because I have heavily educated people that are in my life who the people I choose to be around are very successful, but some of them are not. And they go, "You have like NPD." I've heard this now multiple times.
What's NPD?
NPD. So I said, you know, I'm going to look up NPD.
Okay.
It says narcissistic personality disorder.
Oh my goodness!
Now let me read what it says. It says a personality disorder characterized by a long-term pattern of exaggerated feelings of self-importance, an excessive need for admiration, and a lack of empathy toward other people. So I printed off the definition. And I sat down with the person who made the statement, and I said, I'd like to talk about NPD.
Sure.
So let's talk about exaggerated.
Hey, while we're doing it, can we talk about me?
Well, I said, it's enough. We spent too much time with me talking about me. Now let's let you talk about me. So I said, so when we talk about an exaggerated long-term pattern of exaggerated feelings of self-importance, how do I do this? And they said, well, every time that anyone's late, it bothers you. Like you're the most important thing in the world. And I said, well, I have to be on time because I committed to being on time. And so if you won't wrap up, if you're here past the time we've agreed on, you're a visitor, I do have to leave because I had to be somewhere else. I mean, I've committed. And they go, yeah, but you just went to, go to the mall, let's say, to get your wife something. You didn't have like somewhere to go. You just went to the mall. I'm like, no, I may put it on my schedule to go get the things for my wife at the mall, and somehow the appointments that I set with other people aren't less important or more important than the appointments I set for myself.
The mall is the mall narcissistic? Is the mall?
Well, and then seriously, this is a thing. Then I had an extended family member that pointed out. They said the other day I asked if I could come by, and you said no, you had something scheduled. And then when I came by your house, you were downstairs by yourself, just working on one of your books. And I said, well, that's how you write books.
You schedule it.
You typically don't write a book with other people.
That's probably why mine's not written yet.
You know what I mean?
You schedule it.
You
right.
know what people are?
Thank you. That's the word I needed today. Thank you. Drop the mic. Okay, there we go.
But you know what I'm saying, though?
No, I hear you. Yes.
So it says an excessive need for admiration. I don't know about you, the listeners out there, but I don't apply to win business awards. I don't apply. I don't fill out the forms. The other day, John told me about some award that we qualified for, and I don't like filling out the forms because then they want you to go to the awards banquet that you somehow have to buy seven seats at a table for $400 a piece.
Well, you could upgrade that to a gold sponsor now.
Ooh. So somehow only the people that are sponsors in the magazine have won the award. You know that game.
Oh, sure. Really? That's shocking.
Clay, you've been
shocking.
Is this Clay? Clay, you've been selected by the Tulsa such and such association.
Thank you for being a platinum sponsor.
Top 7 entrepreneurs in the city.
Yes.
There's a $4,000 application fee you have to pay as we vet you.
You're the only man that's ever bought 27 tables. Whoa, that's impressive. In fact, we've got a feeling you're the front runner for next year too.
But the thing is, once you build success, there are certain people that are going to say something, and I don't run around needing people to applaud, but when they do say thank you, I don't hide from it. And then empathy. Z, if you have people who work for you at the auto auction, let's say, and by the way, you have a great team. We met so many of them at the Christmas party. Great people.
Yes.
Great people over there at the optometry clinic. Great people at all your businesses. What would happen to your great businesses if you had extreme empathy for non-performers and kept them on your roster?
It'd be like probably the 96% of the people that don't last a decade.
Right.
And that's what happens.
Right.
There's two different categories. When you have an employee, that's not the same thing as a friend. It's kind of like I have friends of mine that are very close to me, and I have a lot of empathy for them. But if I have someone hired and they're not doing their job, I've got to do what's best for the business. It's kind of like parenting. I tell some of my friends all the time, your children needs a parent, not a friend. That doesn't mean that you can't, have good times with them. But there's discipline, there's consequences, and there's hard decisions that need to be made. And as a business owner, you have to do the same thing. That doesn't mean you don't care about them as an individual. You just care about your business more than them. It's, did that hurt? Oh, that sounded bad. But it's true. It sounded bad.
It sounded bad.
Are you going to cry? I may need a hug.
It sounded.
Someone give me a hug.
Do you need a safe space?
I need a safe space. I need a hug. No, but that's a truth bomb that people need to hear. And that is, you always have to be doing, the filter is what is best for my business. And if that means letting someone go who's not performing,
NPD, baby.
who's not doing their job,
NPD.
It doesn't mean you don't have empathy for them.
NPD.
But you have more empathy for your business because of all the other people that are still working there. If you continue to keep people on like that, guess what? You shutter the doors and then they're all out of job. Everybody's got to find a new job, even you.
So the most selfish thing you could do is not to fire them because then everyone would lose their job.
Amen. And even like in parenting, not to beat this horse too much, but even then it's kind of like you spoil your children. It's really harder on you down the road. People want discipline. They want to know what the rules are. They want the lane that they're supposed to be in. And as a boss, as a parent, as a person, that's what we do. And I have some friends that don't work for me, obviously. They're just friends. I have a lot of empathy for them. They're going through rough times, good times. I celebrate with them. I cry with them. I mean, whatever's necessary, you live life with them. But that doesn't mean that, your hourly employees, you treat them the same thing as you do your friend that you hang out with on your back porch. It's a whole different level. So I could see where people would say, though, that you don't have much empathy, Clay, because you are a businessman and you're here to win. And winning means that you hold people accountable. You make sure they're doing their job. And if they're not, you're not ruthless. You're just taking care of business. It's kind of like going into your garden and pruning a bush. I mean, you love your bush. You want it to grow and be productive, but sometimes you got to cut something off of it.
We've been to other Christmas parties in the past. I've been to many of them that I DJ'd. And what makes you different about your Christmas parties than other people is you said, hey, Clay, I've got a bunch of money I want to give away for some prizes.
I didn't have to. I could have put that in my pocket.
And you said, I want to give some money away, and let's go ahead and do it now.
Right.
But a lot of business owners are like, hey, is it a good time to give away money? And they run it by a committee of people. And Josh, I'm sure you've seen this.
Yeah.
I'm serious. And we've all been to the Christmas party that never starts.
Right.
And they run it by a committee. And they're like, well, why don't we wait until after the food is served? Okay. Why don't we wait till after the blessing? Okay. Why don't we wait till after the first half hour? Why don't we wait for after the hour? Why don't we not get dancing until 2 hours in? Let's not. And they keep it to the committee thing because they don't want to offend anybody.
Absolutely.
And they have the reverse of whatever this NPD thing is. Again, narcissistic personality disorder says it's a personality disorder characterized by a long-term pattern of exaggerated feelings of self-importance. If you're the boss, you have to know that your vote is the most important vote. It is a benevolent dictatorship.
And therein lies the rub, because as you just pointed out, in our society today, just using the United States of America and the data we get from very knowledgeable sources, I mean, this is just math.
Right.
That there's very few people that handle that and do it successfully. There's very few teams that win 6 Super Bowls, and yet everybody wants to put haterade on them, and everybody wants to, hate on them. But the thing about it is that when you're winning, it means that you made a lot of tough decisions.
Right.
And everybody can nitpick and second guess and Monday quarterback or couch, whatever quarterback it is. In other words, they can always second guess what you've done and say, well, I would have done it different, or that wasn't right. That wasn't fair to Melissa. You shouldn't let her go. Or, Billy was really trying hard. Or, you did this, you did that. You shouldn't have spent your money there. You should. I mean, everybody has their opinion. But listen, if you're one of those few people out there that's being successful or wants to be successful, you've got to understand you got to put on your earmuffs and just walk through that noise and just let it roll off you like water off a duck. Because I'm telling you what, when you are the boss, and you have a lot of people depending upon you, sometimes you've got to leave one behind for the good of everybody. And It's tough. It's not easy. It's tough. But it's being able to make those tough decisions in a timely fashion that helps make you successful.
So let's think about this. Josh, the name of your company is Living Water Irrigations. It's a Christian company.
Yes, sir.
Therefore, I'm just going to assume
wait
a
a second. Time out.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about the 99.
When you say it's a Christian company, what do you mean by that, Josh? What do you mean?
He no longer rips the heads off of goats and drinks their blood on the job.
Oh, you've given that up. Wow.
It's not a pagan company.
Okay.
Whoa.
Well, I didn't know he stopped that.
To address specifically the 99, Dr. Zellner, because Jesus would leave the 99 to go get the 1. But in business, you have to do the exact opposite. You have to care for the 99 and let the 1 go. And I think so often that as a Christian businessman and other Christian businessmen out there, you get paralyzed by, oh my gosh, what are they going to say about me, or what are they going to do? You absolutely positively want to operate your business from the principles of giving back, and you want to make sure that you're operating with good morals and values. But you have to be a great steward of the gifts and talents and abilities that God has given you, and the money that he's entrusted you with, and the people that he has entrusted you with. So it's unfair to the 99 to let the 1 pull the ship down.
That's great. And they say one bad apple. I mean, they say these things, and it's true. If you've ever owned a business and had a bad employee that you've put up with, too long, you know what we're talking about. They will sour the rest of them.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
I mean, you put up with Carl coming in late every day.
Oh my gosh.
So I guess I can. That's the new standard. You know, you don't hold anybody to a standard. So then we're just going to do that, and it makes it tough. I tell you what, it's one of the toughest things because you want your staff to like you as a person.
Right.
There's a core of you that wants that. Whether you have the NPD like Clay has or not,
That's right.
which we haven't really vetted that out yet. But you want, there's part of you just as a human that wants to be liked, you know.
Sure.
And you want to be successful, and you want to think that every decision you're making for your business, every one of your employees and vendors and business partners is okay with. And they're saying, you know what, you the man, you got that right. You got that right. Oh yeah, that's a good decision. But in reality, there's a big part of them are going, you got that right. You should have done that. What are you thinking there?
See, I got a question. Are you down with NPD? Are you down with NPD?
NPD.
You down with
NPD?
NPD? Yeah.
Little
You know,
NPD.
This is a big question here. I think a lot of people, though,
That's a fun little background.
It is a fun. It's great. Now let me cue this up though. I want to make sure we get this. Okay.
Okay.
Make sure we get this.
All right.
Is NPD is described as a person who has a long-term pattern.
Long term. How long is long, I wonder?
It's called diligence.
Yeah.
Consistency.
So it's a person who has a diligent pattern of self-importance. Self-importance means that what you're doing is important, that yourself is important. I think that's a good thing.
I don't think it's a bad thing, but like a lot of things, it can, there's always levels of things.
Well, you could be a homeless guy who thinks that you're the mayor.
Yes.
I mean, that's a problem.
you could wear. You could wear an old bathrobe you found in the dumpster. You know,
I mean,
that just,
you
it's
could
got
be
the side rip
losing
walk around like, hey, I'm something important.
You could be losing in business and won a trophy. That's somebody who needs an admiration for something they didn't earn.
Right.
And lack of empathy, I mean, you could run around just slapping people at the mall. I mean, you could just do that. I mean, you could be taking ice cream cones from little kids. You could do that, I guess. But what I'm saying to somebody out there is that Jesus in the book, the Bible, controversial.
We're going back to,
Matthew chapter 21.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Verses 12 through 23. I'm going to read this to you, and then it's the Bible scholar on today's show, Josh.
Oh, whoa.
You have to.
Whoa.
You've never claimed to be a Bible scholar, but you own a Bible, so therefore you're our scholar. I'm going to read it to you. You can break down what you think it means to you, and then Z can one up you.
Can I play a little? I'm gonna play a little music background.
Okay, yeah. Let me make sure.
You have me passively aggressive.
Are we back to OPP
Your
while reading
sounds
the
are back
Bible?
on. No, we're not going to do that. And by the way, that was NPD. We would never play OPP on this show. Something we would not do. It says Matthew 21, verses 12 through 23.
Yes.
12 through 13.
Yes.
Jesus entered the temple courts and drove out all who were buying and selling there. Selling. He turned the tables. He overturned the tables of the money changers and the benches of those selling doves. It is written, he said, my house will be called a house of prayer, but you're making it a den of robbers. I don't think I read it with right energy. Let me try again. Here we go.
You did good, I think.
No, I gave it one more time.
Okay.
I think our culture.
Would you try this time?
I think our culture reads it with a little more of an effeminate tone.
Oh.
Where it's like,
oh my.
Jesus, he entered into the temple courts.
Yeah,
and
that's
he
not
drove
it,
out
yeah.
all who were buying and selling there, and some people he just no one
He
was.
says, "Shoot, get on out of here."
He overturned or
Shoe
just
fly shoe.
He nudged the tables of the money changers.
Shoe.
And
He said,
and the
"These
bench.
tables would look better over here and not over here."
He just moved them. He moved them. He removed the tables. He didn't overturn them. He turned them around.
The feng shui's all
and he
wrong.
made peace. He was coexisting. He was high-fiving with the brothers out there who were selling doves.
Is that a rock dove? Can I see one of your doves?
It is written, he said to them, and then he said, are you guys offended? Because if you are, I'll take it back.
I think that's a.
And he says,
I think that's a rock dove. Can I hold
your
your
dove?
dove?
My house will be called a house of prayer.
You know,
but you're making it a den of robbers, or if you're not offended by that.
This is a heavy suggestion.
But you know what I'm saying?
Okay, come on now.
You
Read
know
it
what
like
I'm
you're
saying.
supposed to.
Okay, Jesus entered the temple courts and drove out all who were buying and selling there.
Come on now.
He overturned the tables of the money changers and the benches of those selling doves. It is written, he said to them, my house will be called a house of prayer, but you are making it a den of robbers. Josh.
Wow. Oof, that was fun.
I don't know back in the day. I don't know how heavy the tables were. I don't know the standard dimensions. The NBA has a 10-foot high basketball goal. I don't know the dimensions of the standard table back in the day. But my understanding is we didn't have the IKEA desks that are super light. So Jesus,
There was no particle board. No
yeah. So when he flipped the table, I mean,
No
I'm saying,
particle
how
board.
would that go over today if you heard of a businessman in Tulsa who flipped over the tables because his employees wouldn't adhere to his rules?
Well, I think it absolutely positively has to happen. So we'll go scriptural and then we'll go real world actionable things.
Like
so
this.
scripturally,
Wow, here we go.
a lot of people think Jesus was weak. He wasn't weak. He was meek. A lot of people think that he just let anything go. Yes, he did walk with prostitutes and he walked with murderers and he walked with sinners, but he was not one. So it is okay to be meek and to be powerful, to believe in what you believe in, to be very principled. So for as a business owner, you need to set your guidelines, your expectations, your requirements, and your responsibilities. And if those things aren't met, sometimes you got to have a little righteous anger. Sometimes you got to throw a fit. Sometimes you have to get in there and let everybody know how passionate you are. And sometimes it takes a overt act. And Jesus knew in that exact instance that if he walked in and said, hey, guys, hey, everybody, hey, I think we're going to need to maybe stop what we're doing, it would not have had the impact and the effect. So he went in and flipped the tables.
I used to DJ at clubs, and what would happen at clubs, Z, is a guy would step on another man's shoes, usually.
Oh, there was tables
Oh, yeah.
flipped.
Here we go.
Or a guy would dance with a guy would go to get a drink. And
Can
another
I
guy
dance
would
with y'all, woman?
Right, another guy would go dance with his girl while he was getting a drink.
Oh, yeah.
And so one guy walks up and says, you have a problem? You got a problem?
You got a problem?
But usually the guy who says that statement is already so worked up he can't even talk really. He's like, you can sense the adrenaline. He's like, you got a problem?
You got a problem?
And the other guy's like, I ain't got a problem. Because all of a sudden shoving goes back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
And then pretty soon you hear, and punching in movies always sounds like this. It's like a, that's how punching in movies. If you're watching Rocky, it's, but in real life it sounds more like this. It's more of like
a wet fish being slapped against the
have you
stone
ever
wall.
watched? Have you ever seen a good fight?
Yes.
Josh, have you
I've
seen a
got
good
5
fight?
brothers.
Yes,
Hello.
sir. Yeah.
But I mean, like in a club scenario, when you're in a club, it sounds like this. It doesn't sound like. It doesn't sound like a Rocky movie.
And they don't have like boom and pow like in the old Batman shows where they kaboom.
No
and pow.
automatopoeias.
Yeah, little.
None of that. It doesn't sound the way maybe you think it does.
Yeah.
And people aren't as tough as they are in movies. Like in Rocky, a guy will take 5 or 6
of them,
punches.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then he'll come back and
Adrian,
and then the epic music
cut
cues.
me. You got to cut me.
So he gets up and then he'll grab like a beer bottle and chase the other guy down and hit him.
Oh, yeah.
And the other guy's like, he recovers,
my favorite's
he
the
comes
pool,
back.
the pool sticks where they just club a guy and he's just standing there, like
Right.
you'd be able to stand there. Yeah.
Right, and you just don't. I'm serious. You don't see that kind of stuff in real life.
So Hollywood's not
usually
realistic?
it's one guy
Wow.
who gets punched, and usually he's a tough guy. He's wearing a nice fancy shirt. He's got the good shirt on and the nice jeans.
And blood's everywhere.
And one punch happens is like this.
He has
And he crumples on the ground. He's like,
Blood everywhere. On his
Yeah.
He has the affliction shirt on and the bedazzled jeans.
Right.
That guy.
Oh, yeah, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Hey.
This just in club fights don't sound like this. They sound like they don't sound like this. They sound more of like this. Now, so I want to make sure we get that. But also, when Jesus walked in to flip the tables, Z, do you picture him walking in like, oh no, because there's certain cultures. Okay, now work with me on this. If you're from the eastern part of Broken Arrow,
right?
Eastern Broken Arrow, this is how you're going to come into
Wagner
a fight.
County.
You're going to come and go, all right, it's going down. Who wants it? Come on now. Who
wants a
it?
piece of this?
Let me take my good shirt off.
I'll tell you what, and you're wearing like a cutoff, and you're all right. Who wants it? Who wants? And you're just kind of it's like a kind of a redneck. Sometimes you might have a deeper tone where I'll tell you what. How big of a boy are you?
Oh yeah, I'll tell you what.
Who's the guy who danced with my girlfriend? Whereas you might get on that microphone at the club, you stop the music. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have an announcement here. I'm going to be opening a
Bobby Sue, you get away from that boy
right
right now. Bobby Sue, you get away from him right now because I'm about ready to open up a can of whoop A on him.
You better. You got a will, brother. You got a will. I'll tell you what, I'll give you a second to fill out this paperwork, and then I'm gonna. And that's
you go outside, practice falling down because I'm coming right behind.
And there's
you.
other cultures that walk in and they go, "Oh no, you didn't," and other people are like, "Yes, he did." No, and they start to go back. There's like the whole crowd is engaging. No, you didn't. Yes, he did. It's gonna go down. It's gonna go, and all of a sudden the crowd's going. Either way, I just want to know, what do you think happened? As I'm not aware of the culture there. Did Jesus walk in? And he's kind of a quiet, and he's like, "Now I will flip the tables." Did he do that? I mean, did he say, "It is written"? Flip the table. I mean, what do you picture that like? when he's flipping tables? I mean, I've never flipped a table. I just want to know righteous anger 101.
You've never flipped the table.
I have thrown a printer.
That's close.
I've
got to give it. That's throwing a printer, flipping a table. Those are the same. They're the same category.
Printer. It was like a 2140 series or something. When you're throwing a Brother 21, is it what's it? It's a TN 720 or something.
It's like a scanner, number. A copier. It's got everything.
Kendall, look at that printer underneath you there. What is the model number? There's a TN. When you're throwing a TN 730.
Well, that's not a 720. It's a 730 down here.
That's not like throwing a table. I'm talking about the old school table. What was that like? What do you think the work, the wind up was like there?
I think it was pretty intense. I think it was pretty cool. I mean that is, we think we know, but we don't know. And that's just a perfect scenario of truth. And I tell you what, whenever people are doing the wrong thing in the wrong place at the wrong time, it takes someone to come along to bring light into that and make it right. And so, and as a business owner, to bring it back to that, that's what you've got to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes you've got to walk into your business and flip a table. And you don't want to flip a table every day.
Right.
You don't flip every table. But yet at times you want to do that. I mean, Jack Welch talks in his book about winning, saying about a public hanging. Well, you're not really hanging people. These are metaphors, firing people. And yet what we have to do as a business owner, you have to be kind of really have that righteous indignation sometimes to come in, roar in and make things right if they're not right. If people are doing, you may go on a cruise, the Love Boat. Soon we'll be making another.
Have I shown you the picture of my mother-in-law with Tom Cruise? Tom Hanks?
Yeah. Tom Cruise.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Hanks. From the Love Boat.
Top Gun.
From the Love Boat.
Oh, the Love Boat.
Have I shown that to you?
No, I knew Tom Cruise from the Top Gun.
Let me show you. This is Tom Hanks from the Love Boat.
She's kind of a big deal. But my point is that if you go on a cruise and you come back and you're like all tanned and all ready to go, and you're like, oh yeah, high and tight, I've had a few too many banana daiquiris on the boat, but I'm okay, time for my liver to get a little rehab. And you pop into the office, and things are like, sometimes you got to flip over a table. Sometimes you've got to flip over. You're like, what in the world? I'm gone for a week. I'm gone for 2 weeks. I'm gone for 3 days, whatever. And it happens, right, Josh? Has that ever happened to you?
Well, I guess my question would be for the listeners out there, Dr. Zoner, to make it actionable. When do you know how to gauge that? Can you give our listeners an idea of when is the time? Hey, that it needs to go that extreme, or how do you judge your level of response?
Well, that is a great question, Josh, and I think that unfortunately, too many people are too quick to flip a table. Too many people are too quick to say, oh, my goodness, what the hey-hoo is going on here, right? And, oftentimes there's a cause, you stop, pause, assess, and then try to gauge what people are doing, why they're doing it, correct them in a friendly, happy, kind way. But every now and then it's gotten so off kilter that you've just got to step in and go, you know what? This is going to require me to flip a table. And I don't, I've been doing it now for almost 30 years,
right.
running businesses. And there's kind of a sixth sense that lets you know when that's the case.
It's when being civil no longer works. When you've tried all the options and you're like, hey, Iran, you need to stop building a nuclear arsenal. Hey, we've had this discussion, Saddam Hussein. Hey, employee who keeps printing after we've told you to not use the color printer. At a certain point, when you've been nice, Z, and you've tried all the methods, you do the Jack Welch move, as you mentioned, the public hanging, and Jack Welch says public hangings are teaching moments.
And for example, I don't want to get too many details on this.
Little fresh still, little fresh.
No. It's like 14 years ago.
Sometimes you just don't want to be too fresh on things, but the point is that you always want to keep a calmness about you as a business owner. You always want to because calmness instills in people that you're in control, at least in control of yourself. And the day that you're not in control of yourself, the day that you're raising your voice, the day that you're saying things you don't normally say, in other words, maybe cuss words or inappropriate language, if you will, then it has a feeling that you're out of control. And when you're out of control, nobody wants to follow out of control.
No one does. You want to feel like you're on the Love Boat at all times.
All times. We doing a Love Boat? I'll come back to that. We're doing a Love Boat break.
I want to show this picture real quick. I think it's important.
We got a picture.
Look at this.
We got a picture.
Wes, I can show this picture. You can see it. This is my mother-in-law on the Love Boat with Tom Hanks. There she is.
The right or left?
And there she is. Right. There she is. There she is. So there she is on the Love Boat.
That looks like that could be your mother.
That's my mother-in-law right there. Yeah, the blonde-haired lady. Yep. There she is. So I just want to show the listeners. I hate to, when you make a claim like your mother-in-law was rubbing lotion on Tom Hanks' chest, you can't make that
back
kind
it
of.
up.
You got to back it up. Otherwise,
up.
people say, this guy's a charlatan. He's making these things up.
And he's not. I mean,
this is true stuff.
Visual proof.
So let's talk about this, though. So you're saying you want to maintain your calm.
You want to maintain your calm at all times, because what happens is that when you maintain self-control, because self-control is very important through all this. So when you walk into your business, let's use this example. When you've been away maybe for a little bit, we're talking about Jesus turning over the tables in the temple.
Oh yeah,
that righteous indignation. So putting that in perspective for business owners. So you walk. So let's say you're gone a few days. You're on a cruise. That's what got the Love Boat theme going. Wes. So Wes just joined it. Hi Wes, how you doing, buddy?
Hello.
And so what happens is that if you walk, you've been gone for a week on a cruise, the Love Boat. You come back in, and all of a sudden there's a significant thing that's wrong with your business. And what does it look like to flip the table, metaphorically speaking? And so what I was saying is it's always important to keep it cool. Keep it cool. Don't lose your control. Self-control is very important. But I'm telling you what's scarier to an individual is someone that has that laser focus with the self-control that is saying the right things. And the right things are, for example, you might be saying, what in the world is happening here? Why is it happening? Who's in charge of this? What's going on? Why is this happening? And with the tone of voice that, quite frankly, you learn from parenting, that makes people go, oh, he's serious. Uh-oh, he's upset. Uh-oh, he's mad. You haven't yelled. You haven't screamed. You haven't used profanity. You haven't done anything inappropriate. You haven't punched somebody in the throat like you'd like to do sometimes. Or, like you said, more of that sound.
Yeah.
But the point is that sometimes whenever, like I've been in some business deals where I've been good, taking the high road, being nice. They're not getting it done. 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 High road, nice. Finally, I have a meeting, pull all the key people in the meeting, shut the door. And I look at them and I say, gentlemen, this is unacceptable. And they're like, well, what do we need to get done? What's going on? Why are you so? What's up? And here's what we need to get done. Here's why it's not done. And if it can't get done, then I'm going to fire y'all. And they're silent. And they look at each other going, you know what? We probably should get this done. I got a good feeling. I got a good feeling that we. I think he's serious. I don't think. They look left, right. I think he's serious. Okay, And I'm like, and here's your time frame to get it done. And I'm tired of this. Boom. And then you stand up. But you know what? Thank you. I think you can get it done. I hope you can. But if you can't, all right. Don't make me bang. And my saying is, I always say, Clay, you may have heard me say this.
Yep.
Wes, Josh, I don't know if you've heard me say this or not, but my big saying is, don't make me beat that drum. I don't want to beat the drum.
I haven't heard that yet.
We all want to be the good cop. Who wants to play the bad cop? Nobody wants to play the bad cop. Bad cop's no fun. Put on the black hat.
You said you don't want me to beat that drum?
Well, I'm saying don't make me beat that drum.
Okay.
You know what they say.
Uh-oh.
Don't make me beat that drum.
You know what they say.
Don't make me beat that drum.
Don't do
You
it.
know what they say.
I'm saying don't make me do it.
Okay.
No. So my point is that always try to keep your emotions in check. Try not to be. And I'm sure when he was flipping those tables over in the temple, he wasn't yelling profanities and out of control, and he was very probably concise, and he was probably then he told them why he did it and why they shouldn't have been doing what they were doing. And I think that's one of the things that we do is that sometimes we let things fester, and then whenever we're ready to flip a table, we lose control. And when I'm telling you as a business owner, as a person, don't lose control. Keep that control issue. Be resolved, but be firm, and use the right words. Think about what you're going to say before you say it.
There you go.
And then act upon it. and take care of it. But you know what? When you're the boss, when it's your business, you expect things a certain way. Make sure it happens that way.
And Wes, how are you, my friend? Good to see you.
I'm amazing. Wes joined. Wow, you stepped right in the middle of it there, Wes.
I like coming in right and hot.
Wes and I talked twice today because apparently today is National Attorneys Want to Work with Clay Clark Day.
Yes.
And so I had to let attorneys know that I cannot help them with their businesses because I work with Mr. Wes Carter. But Wes, the today's show title is, if you haven't been livid as it relates to your business, then you haven't lived as an entrepreneur. And again, with the word livid, I want to make sure we get this, means furious or angry. I mean, Z warned us about the dangers of going off, but also on the other side, there's the dangers of just not letting anything ever bother you. There's no sense of urgency, and when things don't get done, it doesn't bother you at all. Talk to me about this, because you come across as a stoic guy, yet you do run the operations at winnersking.com. That's what you do. Z's talking about the dangers of, on the one side, don't go off, don't lose your mind. Also, I see entrepreneurs that lose everything they've saved, all their money, because they don't ever have a get up and go. Yeah. There's no urgency. They've never been livid. They never do get angry or never do get frustrated with mediocrity. What's the balance that you try to take? Because you're doing well. You guys occupy a whole. What floor are you guys up there at the Cityplex?
59th floor.
Are you still offering free high fives if people are willing to meet with you for an hour?
If you walk all the way up the stairs, yes.
If you walk up the stairs.
Whoa.
Okay,
wow.
So you're on the 59th floor, beautiful view up there.
Put that on the show notes.
What's the balance there about that sort of just lackadaisical drifting entrepreneur?
Yeah, and I think everybody's got to find their lane. You have different personalities. So obviously, Clay, you and I have different personalities. You're very outgoing, and I'm a little, like you said, more stoic.
Yep.
But I think back to childhood when your parents are mad at you and they're yelling at you. You're like, okay, I'm in trouble. But when Pops comes in and he looks at you and is dead silent, and it's calmness, you're like,
Dad,
oh
where's
no,
your belt? Dad,
just
where's your belt?
yell at me, say something, yeah. You know, I'm always conscious, if you make emotional decisions, they're almost always the wrong decisions.
There we go.
And so when you lose your cool, you're either not communicating the point well because, you know, you haven't thought it out like Z said, or you end up saying something you're going to regret. And so, you know, what I try to do is address the problem there, but do it in a calm manner. And then kind of like Z said, eventually you do have to up the volume level or up the seriousness a little bit when things don't get done or when people ignore the direction you're giving them. And the other thing, you know, just personally, I have to watch how I communicate when I get frustrated. So, you know, I get frustrated when people don't do things they're supposed to do, and that can come off, you know, wrong to my, you know, people I work with if I'm not careful, you know, condescending or talking down to someone, not intentionally, but as a business owner, you expect someone to do something, and when they don't do it or they don't understand it after you explained it to them multiple times, I think you have to be careful how you communicate that to them.
Right.
Today, not a good story, but it happened today. And this show's going to come out in March, by the way, so people can't guess as to when what this situation is. But we had a person on our team who, the way it works at our companies is when you get a lead, you need to call the lead every hour, all day. If someone fills out a form, we just call them every hour. We don't leave a message every hour. We just call them every hour until they cry, buy, or die. That's the policy. And so as soon as the lead comes in, you shoot them off a text, and then you call them till they cry, buy, or die. And in one of the companies today, a member of the team, I said, hey, why haven't we booked this person? Multiple people were there. I did not raise my voice. And they said, well, I called him once. And I said, you mean that you called them once this week? Because today's Tuesday.
Yeah.
And there should be 16 calls. Well, fair, 8 yesterday, and then today, 4, 12.
Right.
So far. Do you hate money? And here comes the tears. Like Weepathon, like sprinkler system, like living water irrigation did a good job. And this person is a kind person. And it's like, and I'm like, I am sorry. I did not mean to make you cry. And my wife was there, and it starts to do the, and I'm like, oh, frick. Because you don't know what's going on in someone's personal life, too.
Right.
And I'm going, give me. You just hang out here for a minute. I apologize. I didn't mean to raise my. Did I raise my tone? But it was just like the wet. But it's what I didn't say. Just of the look.
Yes.
Of.
You got the look.
You know what I'm saying? And it's this thing of indignation where it's an annoyance provoked by what is perceived as an unfair treatment. It's like, I'm like, why are we not calling our leads? I'm just like incensed. Like, what? Because it's every hour you're supposed to call the leads. And I thought maybe it would be like, well, yeah, I've been calling them every hour and I just can't reach them. But the response was I only called them one time, and I couldn't handle it. So what I want to do today is a capstone on today's show. I want to make sure the listeners get this. Think about something in your business today that's not getting done. You know, you want your team to get reviews on Google. You want, if you have an auto business, you need your employees at your auction, you have to check the title on the vehicle before you sell it, right?
Sure.
You have a bank. You're not balancing the books.
You got to balance the books.
You're a law firm, and people aren't getting a deadline done. Or you're a DJ company. People aren't doing things properly. You're irritating customers. You're a landscaping or irrigation company, and your employees aren't showing up on time or putting in the sprinkler systems properly. Why are you letting it go? Like, why are you just letting it drift? And then ask yourself, take the emotion out. Use the emotion right now. That's a good thing. The emotion's going to help create the motion to get going.
Come on,
the urgency. To use the emotion to create that motion. Okay, now you're urgent. Now go off to a quiet place and write down the words that need to come out of your mouth and the action items that you need to take so that this ridiculous jackassery can stop. But if you don't experience the feeling of anger a little bit when nothing's getting done, I worry about you. And I know you're not going to make it because you don't have the sense of urgency needed, which is why Matthew 21:12-13, Jesus entered the temple courts and drove out all who were buying and selling there. He overturned the tables of the money changers and the benches of those who were selling. It is written, he said to them, my house will be called a house of prayer, but you are making it a den of robbers. If you read on in this great book called the Bible, there's a chapter called Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verses 1-8. It's kind of a long one, but it reads, there's a time for everything, a season for every activity under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die. A time to be born, that sounds fun. A time to die, not so good. A time to plant, sounds good. A time to uproot, I don't know. A time to kill, ooh. A time to heal, oh, that's nice. A time to tear down, no, what? A time to build, okay. A time to weep, I don't like that part. A time to laugh, oh, that's great. A time to mourn, I don't know. A time to dance, that sounds cool. A time to scatter the stones. Yes, I love to scatter stones. I'm a dude. A time to gather them. I don't want to pick them up again. A time to embrace, a time to refrain, a time to search, a time to give up, a time to keep, and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. There's a time for all these things. And you can't be the guy in a warlike environment who's, Z, you hear the shots over there? You can hear the bombs. Z, do you hear the bombs in the distance there, friend?
Oh, I just heard one.
As your fellow foxhole brother,
oh, wow.
I want to ask you. I got to ask you something.
I just heard a bomb. But
I know we need to have a sense of urgency to go attack the bad guys here in a minute.
Yes, because there's bombs over there, apparently.
Could you pass me the Laffy Taffy, though?
Yo,
I haven't read the joke on the inside of that packet. I haven't read the joke on the inside of the I need to read the joke.
I saved you this fortune cookie from Panda Express from earlier today.
But there are some people that operate like that, though. It's like there's no urgency at all. And so if you're Captain Urgency, then we might have to just think, time out, gather ourselves. What I want you to do today as an action item is just have a sense of urgency about knocking out the things that need to be done. And with that, we're going to wrap up today's show with a boom. Z, are you prepared?
Yes, I am.
Josh, are you prepared to end with a boom?
I am.
Kendall, Captain Video, are you prepared to end with a boom? Wesley Carter, are you prepared to end with a boom?
I am.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1,
boom.
What if you could gain access to download each and every book that I've ever written for free? Well, that'd be terrible because I don't like you. Okay, we're making a big assumption here. But assuming that you do like me and you like the Thrive Time Show, you can now go to thrivetimeshow.com/free-resources. That's thrivetimeshow.com/free-resources to download each and every book that I've ever written for free. You can download the ebook version of each and every book that I've ever written for free.
Clay, I just want to chime in here real quick. I don't like you or capitalism. I feel like we should all get free stuff.
Well, I am in the process of explaining where you can get free stuff. And you can now also download all the helpful infographics. There's infographics on Firing 101, the perfect hiring system, the principles from Ray Dalio, Internet Marketing 101, The Lead Bin Management System, Managing Humans 101, Logo Creation 101, Why Google Loves WordPress, Time Management 101. We also have an incredible infographic about the importance of calling your leads often, because the average person no longer answers their phone unless they are called multiple times and unless they receive a text from you. We also have the importance of File Nomenclature 101, Sales Lead Conversion 101, and much, much more. And it's all available for you to download for free right now by going to thrivetimeshow.com.
Are you suggesting that I should have to move my body?
Yes.
This is for free. Isn't there a way you could just beam it? I mean, why do I have to move my body?
Because
typing causes me anxiety.
Whatever.
Which is why I would never go to thrivetimeshow.com.
Come on.
/free-resources. I would never go to thrivetimeshow.com /free-resources.
All right, let me clarify. If you have the capacity to move your fingers, go to thrivetimeshow.com /free-resources to download an ebook version of every single Amazon best-selling book I've ever written and all the infographics that have the power to change your life.